Now, I have a hard time. I know I'm this crazy dude for wanting evidence and not really buying these crazy stories, but Jordan Sather and Justin Deschamps just expects us to believe crazy stories. We don't need evidence, right? They just push it on us. It says here, now this is an organization that reaches out to some unknown blogger, gives them enough funds to reach out to an unknown guy that works at a store in California, Jordan Sather, and helps get them going, helps get them paid, and helps get them making what they're making. You don't do that out of the kind and goodness of your heart, especially when they're about to push the craziest conspiracies that literally have no evidence for them whatsoever, while they sit up there and tell people that there is massive evidence for the things that they say. Show your support for the ITNJ Judicial Commission of Inquiry into blank, blank, and blank, 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 and you can ratify the treaty. That's how you support them. Justin Deschamps, Jordan Sather, you support them by ratifying the treaty, and you can also contribute with money. So what the hell is this treaty? Well, let me hook you up. The Treaty of the International Tribunal for Natural Justice wants to mandate the formation of this ITNJ or whatever. And they ask you to take an oath, to give your name, to give your fingerprint, to give identifying information, your birthday, your social, and give it to them while stating this. By the way, I fully denounce this, and I'm just reading this off of a page. This is not an oath. The only oath I have is to my country, my family, and my military. I am a man, woman, hereby mandate the International Tribunal for Natural Justice, and by my ratification of this, the Treaty of the International Tribunal for Natural Justice, voluntarily, freely, and absent any outside influence, coercion, or duress, having attained the age of majority and being in full control of my mental and physical facilities. This doesn't sound like a treaty. This sounds like a damn contract. It only gets worse. Having awakened to the truth that since the moment of our birth, we have been contracted to corporate institutions by their very nature serve neither people nor planet, and in hereby revoking in earnest all such contracts which have binded, encumbered, and sought to separate us from our most noble expression. Now, some people think that paragraph just means that you give them your allegiance. I think it means more. I think it tries to fool people into believing a lot of the sovereign stuff that other people that support these guys push. Like, you can just state away all of your debt that you've signed into with other people. And I've never got that. When you take in debt, and I know people get poor, they lose jobs, they have problems. I'm not judging, but when you take in debt, you're saying you're going to pay it back somehow, right? How can you just word it away? And if you can, why aren't all of us doing that, right? We now claim a rightful place in the world, which the supreme creator within has provided for us all as equals amongst all, and will take such action to ensure the restoration of truth and justice for all the people of the world. Now remember, I also showed you where they want open borders. They want your identifiable information. They want your fingerprints. They want your social. This is Justin Deschamps and Jordan and David Wilcock. They are right here. This man, I just showed you, this man hugging Jordan and David, he's the one that made this. He's one of the people that made this. He's on the committee that made this treaty. What would you say if they also wanted you to commit to their constitution? I know, right? Crazy. It's crazy to say it out loud. It's almost like it's crazy, but it's true. Now, this is the funky part. They want to dole out justice. You get me? First, they want to be able to convince you of what is real and what's not. Got me? They don't need evidence. They say that. They want to just hear testimony and then make up their mind. They want to appoint judges because they don't trust judges that are in other places. They want their own. And they want to have the freedom by these papers to be able to say who gets to be a judge or not, right? So these people, and I'm not lying, who are one of the judges? I just showed it to you. Robert freaking David Steele is one of the judges. As you can see, he's right here dressed up in a robe, right there, dressed up in the guy that told Alex Jones that there's a child sex colony on Mars, right? Now it makes sense why he's on Destroying the Illusion. Now it makes sense why he is connected to all these YouTubers. Robert David Steele. Where else have you seen him? Even if they have fights, I would assume, most likely, that that's all just part of the plan. People pushing this guy and getting him out there to people, they're all doing it for a reason. Anyway, back to this. So now that they have judges that don't have any experience, that are just, these crazy people, what do they want to do with those judges? Luckily, it's right here. We, according to the solemn duty as foresaid, have per the dictate of conscience, ratify the present treaty with the earnest intention that truth and reason be restored to the delivery of justice in the world, and so recognize these truths. Okay, what are your truths? We already know open borders. We already know, the other things I've stated. Law in its purest form requires nothing more or less than that we each do not harm. Okay? Harm in any form is only ever caused by natural persons, regardless of whether or not the natural person may claim to be operating under corporate dictate, collar of law, or otherwise. You're losing me, but okay. Harm in any form is only ever capable of being suffered by natural persons, regardless of whether or not the harm suffered may have been so suffered through natural persons' artificial extremities. You're losing me really quickly there. Neither corporate immunity nor collar of light can indemnify a natural person for harm caused to another. And no natural person is bound by the unlawful ruling of a de facto court where they are not a consenting party with full knowledge of the manner in which the consent is given. Basically, these guys are saying they want to be completely separated from any court, be able to appoint new judges like RDS and a few other people, and let them make up their mind for the punishments that they seek. These are the same people that tell you that in the United States, they're going to have sealed indictments, 80,000 of them. These are the people. They've been saying this before Sather started saying it. They were saying it years and years before. Everything that these guys said, all the way leading up to 2016, is what these other guys said with the pizza stuff and the Q stuff. And now we find out that they're all pushing this shit. We, the natural men and women of the world, pursuant to the ultimate goal of releasing equal rights and dignity for each member of the human family, hereby mandate the International Tribunal for Natural Justice. The tribunal shall exist and function according to not the Constitution of the United States or the Constitution of your country. That's why they want your thumbprint, your social, your signature, and everything else. They want this tribunal according to this Constitution, the one that they wrote, the Constitution of the International Tribunal for Natural Justice. Well, you know what? They've already lost me because I don't give my allegiance to other constitutions. I'm just crazy like that. I'm just one of those psycho people in the world where I don't forego my constitution that my forefathers and ancestors fought for and that have worked to build a country that I love. I don't just give it up and sign someone else's constitution, but they do. And let me tell you what it says, because it's pretty crazy.